So our next problem is a hollow propeller shaft of a steamship is to transmit 3750 kilowatt at a 240 rpm if the internal diameter is 0.8 times the external diameter, and if the maximum shear stress developed is to be limited to 160 Newton per millimeter square, determine the size of the shaft. So that is, so capital D and small d we need to determine because this is a hollow shaft, and here the power is given, speed is given, and the relation between internal and outer diameter is given, and shear stress value is given, maximum shear stress value tau is given. So first we have to extract the given data. So power in terms of kilowatt, so we need to convert it into Newton millimeter per second. Therefore 3750 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton millimeter per second, and the speed is 240 rpm. Relation between outer and inner diameter, that is small d is equals to 0.8 times of capital D. So maximum shear stress given, tau is equals to 160 Newton per millimeter square. So we need to find small d and capital D. So for that, first I am going to use the equation for power. P is equals to 2 pi nt by 60. So in this equation we need to find the torque because power is given, speed is given, only t is unknown. So if we solve the equation by substituting all the values, we will get the torque value. So torque T is equals to 1.49 into 10 to the power of 8 Newton millimeter. Next. So next we are going to find the polar moment of inertia. So for hollow shaft, polar moment of inertia equation is J is equals to pi by 32 into capital D to the power of 4 minus small d to the power of 4. So the relation between outer and inner diameter is given. Therefore small d in place of small d we are substituting 0.8 times of capital D. So after simplifying this, so we got the relation between polar moment of inertia and the diameter of the or outer diameter of the shaft, that is J is equals to 0.057 times of d to the power of 4. So next we know the torque equation, T by J is equals to tau by R naught. This is for hollow shaft. So in this equation, so torque is 1.49. We calculated this one 1.49 into 10 to the power of 8, and the polar moment of inertia we got in terms of diameter 0.057 into d to the power of 4, and maximum shear stress given is 160, and here radius I want, therefore diameter by 2. So in this equation unknown is d, both left hand side and right hand side we have d. Therefore after solving this equation we got capital D value 200 millimeter, and we know the relation between small d and capital D, 0.8 times of capital D. Therefore multiply 200 with 0.8, so we will get the small d value, that is diameter of the inner cylinder or inner circle. So these are the values of or dimensions of the shaft, capital D and small d. So next we have the another type of a problem. A shaft is required to transmit 245 kilowatt power at 240 rpm. The maximum torque may be 1.5 times the mean torque. The shear stress in the shaft should not exceed 40 Newton per millimeter square and twist 1 degree per meter. Determine the diameter required if, first condition, the shaft is a solid, Second condition, the shaft is hollow with external diameter twice the internal diameter. So here relation between internal and external diameter is given in the second condition, and in the first condition it is a complete solid shaft, and modulus of rigidity is given, G is equals to 80 kilonewton per millimeter square. So first thing is we have to extract the given data. So power is given in terms of kilowatt, therefore convert it into Newton millimeter per second. Then speed is given 240 rpm. Maximum torque is given. Maximum torque is 1.5 times of mean torque. Therefore T max is equals to 1.5 times of capital T. Relation between mean torque and maximum torque is given. So we have to make use of this to find the maximum torque. Then maximum shear stress is given, 40 Newton per millimeter square. Tau max is equals to 40 Newton per millimeter square, and maximum angle of twist is also given, theta. It is given in terms of degree. We have to convert it into radian, therefore multiplied by pi by 180. Next, length is given 1 meter, because if you read this sentence, angle of twist is 1 degree per meter length. Therefore, for 1 meter length of the shaft, its angle of twist is 1 degree. We have to consider the length of the shaft as 1 meter. Next, so we have to find the diameter by considering it as a solid shaft, and we have to find the diameter of inner and outer of hollow shaft, and this is given, that is modulus of rigidity, G is equals to 80 into 10 power 3 Newton per millimeter square. So to solve this problem, so first I am going to use the equation, power equation, P is equals to 2 pi nt by 60. So in this equation, first I am going to find the T value by substituting. P is given and here speed is given in terms of RPM. So substitute P and N value and then find the T value. So T becomes, T is equals to 9.74 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton millimeter. And in the problem, the relation between maximum torque and mean torque is given. Maximum torque is equals to 1.5 times of mean torque. So this is mean torque 9.74. So to obtain the maximum torque, we need to substitute in this equation. So after substituting in the equation, T max equation, and simplification of this equation, so we got T max 14.62 into 10 power 6 Newton millimeter. So this is maximum torque value. Next, so we are going to consider the two cases one by one. First one is a solid shaft. So in case of solid shaft, first I'm going to consider the shear stress from the torque equation. T by J is equals to tau by R, and I'm not considering the mean torque value. We are considering the maximum torque value, T max by J is equals to the maximum shear stress divided by radius or diameter by 2. So T max we got 14.62 into 10 to the power of 6, substitute here, and J, the formula for polar moment of inertia, pi by 32 into d to the power of 4. Then tau max given is 40, and this is radius in terms of diameter, therefore d by 2. Both from the left hand side and right hand side we have the diameter capital D, therefore by solving this equation we can get the diameter value, capital D is equals to 123.02 millimeter. So this is the diameter of the shaft if we consider it as a solid one. And so we have another set of equation by considering the angle of twist, that is T by J is equals to G theta by L. In this equation we have to consider the maximum torque, T max. So Tmax is 14.62 into 10 to the power of 6, and this is polar moment of inertia equation, and the G value given is 80 into 10 to the power of 3, and theta in terms of degree it is given, therefore 1 into pi by 180 to convert it into radian, and length is 1000 millimeter. In this equation, after solving, we got D value, capital D value 101.62 millimeter. Therefore, so out of these two values, so which one to select? Diameter. So always we have to select the maximum one for the safety purpose. Next, second condition, for hollow shaft given in the problem. For hollow shaft, we know that polar moment of inertia equation is J is equals to pi by 32 into capital D to the power of 4 minus small d to the power of 4, and the condition given is capital D is equal to 2 times of small d. Therefore, in place of capital D, we are substituting 2 times of small d. Then the above equation becomes J is equals to 1.47 times of small d to the power of 4. Next, so from the consideration of shear stress, that is a torque equation becomes T max divided by J is equals to tau max by D by 2. So in this equation, so substitute T max 14.62 into 10 to the power of 6, and J we got 1.47 due to the power of 4, and tau max given in the problem 40. Next, so in place of capital D, we can substitute 2 times of small d divided by 2. So here 2 get cancelled, and in the left hand side and right hand side of the equation we have small d. Therefore, after simplification, we got small d value, d is equals to 62.84 millimeter, and capital D becomes 2 times of small d, therefore 2 into 62.84, the capital D value becomes 125.6 millimeter. Next, so we are considering the another set of equation, T by J is equals to G theta by L. So we have to consider the maximum torque value, that is 14.62 into 10 to the power of 6. So J we got 1.47 d to the power of 4, and G value modulus of rigidity given in the problem 80 into 10 to the power of 3. Theta is pi by 180, length is 1000. So after solving this equation, we got small d value 51.64 and capital D 103.2. Now compare these two values, these values and these values. So always while selecting the diameter, we need to select the bigger diameter for safety purpose. Therefore, diameter to be used is the bigger one, 62.8 millimeter, and capital D 125.6 millimeter. So our next concept is stepped shaft subjected to torsion. So there are under these headings we have two conditions. First one is shafts in series, and next one is shafts in parallel. So if you see this figure, we'll come to know why it is called shafts in series, because in this figure there is a stepped shaft where the bigger portion of the shaft having diameter capital D and smaller portion of the stepped shaft having the small d. Okay, so the free end of the shaft is subjected to a clockwise torsion capital T. So to balance this one, there is a resisting torque which is acting at the support in the anti-clockwise direction, and the length of the bigger portion of the shaft is L1, and the length of the smaller portion of the shaft is L2. So in this figure, two shafts are said to be in series if the driving torque is applied at one end and the resisting torque at the other end. So in such cases, it is convenient to ensure that the each shaft transmit the same torque, each shaft transmit the same torque, and the total angle of twist is the sum of the angle of twist of the two shafts. Please try to understand. There are two important concepts in this uh, condition. One is the each shaft transmits the same torque and the total angle of twist is the sum of the angle of twist of the two shafts, that is T1 is equals to T2 is equals to T. So T1 represent the torque applied at free end. T2 is the torque applied or generated in the second portion. T is the resisting torque generated. Then the total angle of twist is equals to sum of the angle of twist of the each portion. And theta can be written as TL by Gj. Therefore, from the equation we can write theta value as theta is equals to TL1 divided by G1 J1 plus TL2 divided by G2 J2. So these are the two conditions we have to remember for shafts in series. So next we have shafts in parallel. So two shafts are said to be in parallel if the driving torque is applied at the junction of two shafts. So this is the junction of two shafts. So here we are applying the uh, torque, and the resisting torque is at the other ends of the shaft. So the other two ends are fixed, and because of application of this torque at the junction, there is a resisting torque in the opposite direction where it is fixed. So in this case, it is convenient to ensure that angle of twist is the same for both the shafts, but the applied torque is shared between the two shafts, that is theta 1 is equals to theta 2. So theta can be written as TL by Gj. Therefore above equation can be written as T1 L1 divided by G1 J1 is equals to T2 L2 divided by G2 J2. And when it comes to torsion, T, that is total torque, is equals to this total torque is shared by the sum of the individual portions. Therefore T is equals to T1 plus T2. Next, so let us solve the problems based on the concepts of shafts in series and shafts in parallel. A stepped shaft is subjected to torque as shown in below figure. Determine the angle of twist at the free end. Take G is equals to 80 kN per millimeter square. Also find the maximum shear stress induced in the stepped shaft. See, this is the given figure. There are three portions in the stepped shaft and it is fixed at one end, other end is free. Portion AB is a hollow shaft because there is a groove inside this shaft. Next, portion BC and CD are solid shaft whose diameters are 80 and 60. So the free end, at the free end of portion CD, anticlockwise torque is applying whose value is 1 kilonewton per meter, and in the portion CB in the opposite direction torque is inducing whose value is 2 kilonewton meter, and in the portion AB, that is hollow shaft, opposite direction torque is inducing 3 kilonewton per meter. So to solve this problem, so first I will consider the portion CD. In the portion CD, the polar moment of inertia, that is pi by 32 into d to the power of 4. Diameter is 60. So if we substitute d value here, and after simplifying this, we got polar moment of inertia value, that is J1, 1.27 into 10 to the power of 6 millimeter to the power of 4. Now let us consider the second portion BC. Polar moment of inertia J2 becomes, after simplifying, 4.021 into 10 to the power of 6 millimeter to the power of 4. Similarly, for the last portion AB, since this is a hollow shaft, so we have to use this equation for polar moment of inertia pi by 32 into capital D to the power of 4 minus small d to the power of 4, where capital D represent the outer diameter, where small d represent the inner diameter of the shaft. So capital D is 100, small d is 80. So after simplifying this, we got J3 value 5.79 into 10 to the power of 6 millimeter to the power of 4. Next, so from the torsion equation, we can write theta as theta is equals to TL by Gj, because T by J is equals to G theta by L. Therefore, theta can be written as TL by Gj. Next, so angle of a twist at the free end. So from the free end, we can see there are three portions: AB, BC, and this is CD. So we are doing the analysis from the free end. For the portion CD, anti-clockwise direction, torque is applying 1 kilonewton meter, 1 kilonewton meter. And for the portion, this is A, B, C, D. For the portion BC, in the opposite direction, torque is inducing. Then for the portion AB, same direction, torque is inducing. Therefore, theta CD, the reference torque, becomes positive. Then, so here in the opposite direction, therefore it is negative. Whereas for the portion AB, it is, the torque is obtaining in the same direction, therefore positive. That angle of twist become positive for the portion AB. Then by using this equation, so we are going to substitute the value of T, L, G and J. For the first portion, the torque value is 1 into 10 to the power of 6, whereas length is 500 and G value is 80, and the polar moment of inertia J1, 1.27 into 10 to the power of 6. For the second portion, the T value given is 2 kilonewton meter, but the difference is 1 minus 2 is 1. Therefore, we have to use 1 kilonewton meter. 1 into 10 to the power of 6, and the length of the second portion is 400. G value is 80. Then J2 we got 4.02 into 10 to the power of 6. So coming to the last portion, that is AB. For the portion AB, T value given is 3 kilonewton meter. So the difference is, so here applied torque is 1, obtained torque is 3. The difference is 2. Therefore, we have to use 2 kilonewton meter. So 2 into 10 to the power of 6 in place of torque. Then length is 300 mm, G value is 80, and J3 is 5.7 into 10 to the power of 6. So after simplifying this, we got theta value 4.96 into 10 to the power of minus 3 radians. Next, so to find the shear stress induced in each portion. Let us consider the portion AB. This is the general equation, torsional equation. T by J is equals to tau AB divided by R naught. Since this is a hollow shaft, we have to use R naught, where R naught represents the outer diameter by 2. Outer diameter by 2. Since torque is 2 into 10 to the power of 6, J3 value 5.79 into 10 to the power of 6, tau AB is unknown, we have to determine. Then outer diameter is 100, 100 by 2 is 50. By solving this equation, we got tau AB 17.25 Newton per millimeter square. Then for the portion BC, the torque induced is 1 into 10 to the power of 6. J2 value is 4.02 into 10 to the power of 6. Tau BC we have to determine. Then radius, nothing but diameter by 2. Diameter is 80. 80 by 2 is 40. So after solving this equation, we got tau BC value 9.95 Newton per millimeter square. Similarly, for the portion CD, torque value is 1 into 10 to the power of 6. J1 is 1.27 into 10 to the power of 6. Tau CP, tau CD we have to determine. Diameter is 60, therefore radius becomes 30. After simplifying this, we got tau CD value 23.57. So out of these three values, tau CD is the maximum one. Therefore, the maximum shear stress occur in the portion CD. Tau max becomes 23.57 Newton per millimeter square. So the next problem is a bar of length 1000 millimeter and diameter 60 millimeter is centrally bored for 400 millimeter. The bore diameter being 30 mm as shown in figure. If the two ends are fixed and is subjected to a torque of 2 kN meter, find maximum stress developed in the two portion. So this is a single component. Because of there is a bore between the portion BC, we are going to consider this as a stepped shaft, and both ends are fixed and torque is applied at the junction. Therefore, this is nothing but a shafts in parallel condition. Okay, so first we are going to consider the portion AB. For the portion AB, first we are going to find the angle of twist theta 1. General formula is TL by GJ. So in this problem, T1 value is not given and G value is also not given. Since it is made up of single material, so G1 is equals to G2 is equals to G. Modulus of rigidity becomes same. So I will call this one as equation number 1. Next, for the portion BC, second portion, since this is a hollow shaft, the polar moment of inertia equation becomes pi by 32 into capital D to the power of 4 minus small d to the power of 4. Length is 400. Capital D is 60, whereas a small d is 30. I will call this one as equation number 2. So in case of a parallel shaft or shafts in parallel, this is the first condition, right? Theta 1 is equals to theta 2. That is uh, the angle of twist for the first portion is equals to angle of twist for the second portion. Therefore, equate 1 and 2. Equation number 1 and 2. So if we equate 1 and 2, G get cancelled. So I will get T1 value in terms of T2 or T2 in terms of T1. So I will write this one in terms of T2, T1 in terms of T2. T1 is equals to 0.711 into T2. Next, so the second condition for shafts in parallel is T is equals to T1 plus T2. Substitute T1 value in this equation. Therefore, T value is given in the problem, that is 2 into 10 to the power of 6. Substitute here, and T1 can be written as 0.711 T2. Therefore, T2 becomes, after simplifying this equation, T2 becomes T2 is equals to 1.168 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton per millimeter. Then if we substitute this T2 value in this equation, we can determine T1 value. T1 becomes 0.83 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton per millimeter. Next, so to find the shear stress induced in the shaft, let us consider the portion AB. T by J is equals to tau AB by R. So R is nothing but diameter by 2. So T value is 0.83. So T is nothing but T1, because we have considered portion AB as a first portion. Therefore, this is nothing but T1, 0.83 into 10 to the power of 6. J value is polar moment of inertia, pi by 32 into 60 to the power of 4 is equals to tau AB by 30. So we can easily determine tau AB by solving this equation. Tau AB becomes 19.60 Newton per millimeter square. Similarly, if we consider the second portion, shear stress in BC becomes T by J is equals to tau BC by R naught. Since it is a hollow shaft, R naught represent the outer diameter by 2. So T2 is 1.168 into 10 to the power of 6. Polar moment of inertia is pi by 32 into 60 power 4 minus 30 power 4 is equals to tau BC we have to determine. Radius is 60, diameter becomes 60 by 2, 30. Then by solving this equation, we will get tau BC 29.39 Newton per millimeter square. So next we have a derivation. Thin circular tube subjected to torsion. So thin tube is nothing but whose thickness is smaller than the diameter. So let us consider a thin tube whose outer diameter is capital D, whereas the inner diameter is small d, and the thickness of the tube is small t. The length of the shaft is capital L. The cross section end of the thin shaft or thin tube is subjected to a anticlockwise or clockwise torsion capital T. The thickness of the wall can be determined by T is equals to capital D minus small d by 2, that is outer diameter minus inner diameter divided by 2 gives the thickness of the wall or wall thickness. Then to find the polar moment of inertia of thin circular tube, so we have the relation between area and the radius, that is area of the cross section multiplied by the radius square. Area of the cross section multiplied by the radius square gives the polar moment of inertia, that is the area of the cross section is pi into diameter into thickness gives the area of the cross section, whereas radius is nothing but diameter by 2. Then after simplifying, so we got polar moment of inertia J pi d cube T divided by 4. Next, so the general torsion equation is T by J is equals to tau by R. So torque can be written as T is equals to tau by R into J, that is modified equation. Then so in place of R, we are going to substitute diameter by 2, and polar moment of inertia we got from the previous step, pi d cube t divided by 4. Then after simplifying the above equation, we got t value, t is equals to pi into tau into d square into t divided by 2. Then to find the angle of twist, let us consider the second set of torsion equation. T by j is equals to g theta by L. So in this equation we can separate theta. Theta is equals to TL by Gj. Then the polar moment of inertia J can be written as pi d cube T divided by 4. Therefore, the angle of twist becomes theta is equals to 4TL divided by G into pi into d cube into small t. So next we are going to solve the problem on a thin circular tube. A thin tube 50 millimeter in diameter is 2 millimeter thick if the allowable shear stress is 80 Newton per millimeter square and modulus of rigidity is 80 gigapascal. Determine first one, safe twisting moment, that is capital T we have to find. Then the twist in a length of 40 millimeter. So theta we have to find. T and theta we have to find. So first we have to extract the given data. So diameter is given 50, capital D is equals to 50, thickness is a 2 millimeter, and tau value is given 80 Newton per millimeter square. G value is given in terms of gigapascal. So these are the given values. So first T we have to determine, that is a safe twisting moment T. So for a thin circular tube, T equation for twisting moment T, pi into tau into d square into T divided by 2. So shear stress tau is 80 Newton per millimeter square. Then diameter is 50 millimeter. Thickness is 2 millimeter. Substitute all the values. Then simplify. So we got T value 0.62 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton millimeter. Next, so to find the angle of twist, theta value, theta is equals to, this is the equation for thin circular tube, 4TL divided by G into pi into d cube into T, small t. So capital T 0.62 into 10 to the power of 6. Length is how much? Diameter 2 meter. Allowable shear stress is, length is 40 millimeter. Correct? It is given in the second condition or second question. Length is 40 millimeter. G value is 80 gigapascal. Diameter is 50. Thickness is 2. Substitute all the values and simplify. Theta value becomes 0.01599 radians. So we have to convert it into degree. 0.916 degree is the angle of twist. So next one, prove that hollow shaft is stronger and stiffer than the solid shaft of the same materials, length and weight. So we know that when it comes to shaft, so we have different types of shaft, solid shaft and hollow shaft. So in this case we have to prove hollow shaft is stronger and stiffer than the solid shaft, which is made up of same material, length is same and weight is same. So to prove that, so first we have to consider the density and the weight, because if it is made up of same material means its density should be same. So here delta S represent density of the solid shaft and delta H represent density of hollow shaft. Ws represent weight of the solid shaft and Wh represent weight of the hollow shaft. So first we are going to consider the hollow shaft is stronger than the solid shaft. So to prove this, let us consider the diameters. So first one, small d represent the diameter of the solid shaft, whereas a d1 represent outer diameter of hollow shaft and d2 represent the inner diameter of hollow shaft. Next, so weight. So what is the formula for density? Density is equals to mass by volume. So mass is nothing but weight. Therefore, so weight can be written as density into volume. So volume is nothing but what? Volume is equals to area into length. Volume can be written as area into length. Therefore, weight can be written as density into area into length. Weight can be written as density into area into length. So in case of solid shaft, AS represent area of the solid shaft, LS represent length of the solid shaft, delta S is density of the solid shaft. Similarly for this is for hollow shaft. So we have to compare or we have to equate both for solid shaft as well as hollow shaft. So in this case, length get cancelled and density get cancelled because it is made up of same material and length is same, weight is same. Next, so area of a solid shaft becomes pi by 4 into d square, whereas for hollow shaft pi by 4 into d1 square minus d2 square. So here pi by 4 get cancelled. Remaining terms are d square is equals to d1 square minus d2 square. So it can be written as d is equals to d1 square minus d2 square whole to the power of 1 by 2. So next we are going to consider the torque. So let Ts represent the torque of a solid shaft and Th represent torque of hollow shaft. So we know from the general equation of torsion, that is T by J is equals to tau by R. T by J is equals to tau by R. Since I want a torque, so T can be written as T is equals to tau into J divided by R. So J represents the polar moment of inertia, tau is the shear stress, R is the radius of the shaft. Correct. So here, in case of a solid shaft, we are going to represent it by Ts, that is the torsion of a solid shaft. So Js represent the polar moment of inertia for solid shaft, tau by. So in place of R, we are substituting diameter by 2. So for solid shaft, polar moment of inertia equation is pi by 32 into d to the power of 4. Pi by 32 into d to the power of 4 into tau divided by d by 2. So after simplifying this, we got Ts pi by 16 d cube into tau. So this is for solid shaft. Next, let us consider the torsion equation for hollow shaft. So Th is equals to Jh, polar moment of inertia for hollow shaft, into tau divided by d1 by 2, because here we have to use R naught. R naught represent the radius of outer circle. Therefore diameter is d1 by d1. Therefore d1 by 2 represent the R naught value. So polar moment of inertia for hollow shaft is pi by 32 into d1 power 4 minus d2 power 4 into tau divided by d1 by 2. So after simplifying this, we got pi by 16 into d1 power 4 minus d2 power 4 divided by d1 into tau. Now I'm going to divide this th by ts. Therefore, so after dividing this th by this ts equation, so we got this value of this equation, that is d1 power 4 minus d2 power 4 divided by d cube into d1. So this d1 power 4 minus d2 power 4 can be written as d1 square whole square minus d2 square whole square. So we can write this one as d1 square whole square minus d2 square whole square. Similarly, d cube can be written as d1 square minus d2 square whole to the power of 3 by 2. So this gives the same value d cube. Okay, then d1 as it is. So then in the next step, a square minus b square can be written as a plus b into a minus b. Similarly, this d1 square whole square minus d2 square whole square can be written as d1 square plus d2 square into d1 square minus d2 square. And in the denominator, we retain the same equations. So next one. So in the denominator, so this is d1 square minus d2 square to the power of 3 by 2. So can be written as, because here we have 1 by 2 into 3, correct, 1 by 2 into 3. So this 1 by 2 can be written as square root of d1 square minus d2 square into, so we multiply the same term d1 square minus d2 square. So it gives square root of 3 by or whole to the power of 3 by 2. So in the next step, so this d1 square minus d2 square get cancelled, and this is the remaining term, that is d1 square plus d2 square divided by, so this is the remaining one, d1 into square root of d1 square minus d2 square. So from in this equation, so if we take d1 square as common, if we take d1 square as common, we get 1 plus d2 by d1 whole square. And in the denominator also, so if we take d1 as common, so it becomes d1 into square root of 1 minus d2 divided by d1 whole square. So this d1 square and d1 square get cancelled, and this is the remaining term. So in this equation we can see in the numerator we have 1 plus d2 by d1 whole square, and in the numerator we have, in the denominator we have square root of 1 minus d2 divided by d1 whole square. So it shows that numerator is greater than 1. So this is greater than 1, whereas the denominator is less than 1. Therefore, so this TH is greater than TS. So TH represent what? The torsion of hollow shaft is greater than the torsion strength of solid shaft. So from this we can conclude that hollow shaft is stronger than the solid shaft when their weights are same. So next we are going to consider the second case, that is we have to prove hollow shaft is stiffer than the solid shaft. So for that we are going to consider the basic relation, that is T by J is equals to G theta by L. So this is the second set of equation for torsion, but stiffness is nothing but what? Stiffness is the torque required to produce unit rotation in unit length. Okay, stiffness is nothing but, stiffness is always represented by K. Stiffness is nothing but a unit torque or torque required to produce unit rotation in unit length. Therefore, in place of torque we can represent it by K. But we have to consider theta is equals to 1 and length is equals to 1. Therefore, this equation becomes K is equals to G into J, because theta is equals to 1, L is equals to 1. For a solid shaft, Ks becomes, that is the stiffness of the solid shaft, becomes G into, in place of polar moment of inertia J, we are substituting the equation pi d4 by 32. Similarly, for hollow shaft, J value becomes pi into d1 power 4 minus d2 power 4 divided by 32. So now we are going to divide Kh by Ks, that is stiffness of hollow shaft by stiffness of solid shaft. So therefore this G and pi 32 get cancelled, and these are the remaining terms, that is d1 power 4 minus d2 power 4 divided by d to the power of 4. So this d1 4 can be written as d1 square whole square, and d2 power 4 can be written as d2 square whole square, and d to the power of 4 can also be written as d1 square minus d2 square power 2 or whole square. Okay, so in the next step, so we know that a square minus b square equation, that is a plus b into a minus b. So in the same form we are going to write this equation. So therefore d1 square plus d2 square into d1 square minus d2 square. So in the denominator we keep as it is, we retain the same thing. So this term and this square get cancelled, and this is the remaining term, d1 square plus d2 square divided by d1 square minus d2 square. So from this equation, so it is clear that Kh, that is the stiffness of the hollow shaft, is greater than the stiffness of the solid shaft, because here we can take d1 as, or d1 square as common. It becomes 1 plus d2 by d1 whole square, or here we can take d1. Similarly in the denominator also we can take d1 square, so it becomes d1 minus 1 minus d2 by d1 square. So this is greater than 1, numerator is greater than 1, whereas denominator is less than 1. Therefore this stiffness of hollow shaft is greater than stiffness of the solid shaft. So next one, a thin walled shaft. So in this case the equation for thin walled shaft is shear stress for shear stress tau is equals to T divided by 2 pi r square into T, where capital T represent the torsion or torque, and r is the radius, and T is the thickness of the wall. For angle of twist, we have the relation with respect to length, torsion, modulus of rigidity, radius, and the thickness of the wall, that is theta by L. So this is L. Theta by L is equals to capital T divided by 2 pi r square into T into G. So the next problem is a hollow circular shaft of outer diameter 100 millimeter and inner diameter 95 millimeter is subjected to a torque of 2 kilonewton meter. Determine the value of maximum shear stress and angle of twist per unit length. So there are two cases given in the problem. First case, treating it as a hollow shaft. Second case, treating it as a very thin shaft. So take modulus of rigidity as capital G. Value is not given. So first case is by treating it as a hollow shaft. So we know the general formula for torsion. T by J is equals to tau by R naught for hollow shaft. So T value given in the problem is 2 kilonewton meter. Therefore 2 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton millimeter. Then polar moment of inertia for hollow shaft is pi by 32 into major diameter power 4 minus minor diameter power 4. So major diameter given is 100, minor diameter is 95. Then tau value we have to find. Radius is major diameter by 2, that is 100 by 2. So after simplifying this equation, we got tau value. Tau is equals to 54.91 Newton per millimeter square. Similarly, let us consider the second set of equation for torsion. T by J is equals to G theta by L. So T value is 2 into 10 to the power of 6, and polar moment of inertia is pi by 32 into 100 power 4 minus 95 power 4. Here G value is not given, so as it is we write capital G, and theta value is also not given. So theta divided by length is 1 meter. Here it is given 1 meter, therefore 1000 millimeter. So we are going to write this in terms of theta. Therefore theta is equals to 1.098 divided by G, because G value is not given. So next, second case, by treating the shaft as a thin walled one. So how to find the diameter of the wall? Diameter small d is equals to d1 plus d2 by 2. D1 represent major diameter, D2 represent minor diameter. So if we add and divide by 2, it gives the diameter of the thin wall. Therefore 100 plus 95 by 2 gives 97.5 mm. So this is the diameter of the thin wall. Then radius. So radius of the thin wall can be determined by dividing the diameter by 2. That is 97.5 by 2. 48.75 millimeter is the radius of the thin wall. Next, so to find the thickness of the wall, so we have to subtract major diameter and minor diameter and divide it by 2. So it gives 2.5 millimeter. This is the thickness of the thin wall. Now we are going to use the equations. So this is the equation for shear stress for thin walled shafts or thin walled tubes. Tau is equals to T divided by 2 pi r square into T. Torque given is 2 into 10 to the power of 6, and radius is 48.75 millimeter. Thickness is 2.5. So if we simplify this equation, we get 53.57 Newton per millimeter square. Next one. So to find the angle of twist, we are going to use the equation theta by L is equals to T divided by 2 pi r square T into G. Here T value is 2 into 10 to the power of 6, 2 pi, and R is radius 2.5 square, 2.5 square. So radius is 48.75, it is there, but thickness is missing, therefore thickness 2.5 multiply 2.5 square, sorry, square is not there, 2.5 in the denominator. So therefore after simplifying this, so we get theta value in terms of G. Theta is equals to 1.099 divided by G.